Nation Sports Show. Tonight, we go out with a bang. Tonight, it is the final edition of our Nation Sports Show for the year 2024. Join us tonight as we celebrate and bring to you our top 5 moments this year in the NBA. The Boston Celtics claimed their 18th world title. In Major League Baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers won their 8th World Series. In the NFL, a Chiefs kingdom has created a dynasty in the making. Some shocking trades and free agent signings took place as well. And in 2024, some of the greatest football games were played during this year's NFL regular season. Join us tonight as we bring to you our analysis of Week 17 in the National Football League. And tonight, it is our regular season finale of our prediction battles. Tonight, we predict the final full slate of games for Week 18. Next week, we crown our prediction battles champion. From all of us here on the Sports Show, we hope that you all had a very Merry Christmas, and we hope that 2025 is a Happy New Year. For the final time in 2024, it's showtime.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome everybody to our Nation Sports Show. We are live once again. And we're live on a Monday again, of course, because of the holiday weekend coming up. And we're glad to be with you on this beautiful Monday. Of course, we're starting this show just before Monday Night Raw goes live for the final time on USA Network after 31 years on network television. We got that going on tonight, and also Monday Night Football, which we'll get into later, between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco or Santa Clara, of your hijacker, 49ers. We'll get into all that in a little bit. Obviously, we got a big show for you guys tonight. Week 17 is a wrap, just about a wrap, of course, with tonight's game still to go. But we got that to look forward to, and we got Week 18, of course, the finals of the prediction battle to predict and crown a new champion next week. All that and more, we'll get into that in just a second. But of course, the ways you can interact with us at Owen_Sports Show on the good old Twitter account, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, where we are currently live. All that is at Our Nation Sports Show. Don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner at The Nation's Corner on the YouTube and on Instagram, and of course, Nation's Corner on Twitter and everywhere else you can follow them at. Also, don't forget to, of course, watch the Nation's Corner 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, with the guys and gals. They cover all things pro wrestling, and of course, with a very busy weekend coming up involving Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, of course, the Raw on Netflix coming up on next Monday, SmackDown, of course, this Friday, and all the wrestling in between. It's going to be a lot to discuss. Coming up this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, youtube.com/The Nation's Corner. And of course, don't forget to follow me at Two Sweet Cosplay across all socials for your cosplay pro wrestling needs. We're getting ready for, of course, some of our crew possibly heading to WrestleMania weekend and some doing C2E2 as well. Updates on that. And of course, if we're going to get a booth or panel, all that to be determined. So keep an eye on our socials as those details come out. All right, enough of my spiel, enough of my plugs and everything in between. It is time to get going here. We got us a three-headed monster. Unfortunately, Kevin will not be with us tonight, and neither will Hijacker. But they have set their scores, and we'll get to the predictions battle in just a little while. But with us tonight, we have, of course, my buddy here on the bottom of my screen, anyways. But he's always at the top of the heap when it comes to the world he lives in, which is of course baseball. But he loves all sports in between, and that is, of course, my boy JT Joey Thornton. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing Monday, and I especially hope all of y'all out there had a very Merry Christmas. And I'm also hoping that everybody's looking forward to ringing in the new year at approximately, or why am I saying approximately, exactly at midnight on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning to welcome in the year 2025. Ah, man, what a great way to end an amazing year of 2024. And from all of me to all of y'all, I hope 2025 is your best year yet. But in the meantime, we still got some sports to talk about. So let's get into it, baby.
Absolutely, and yeah, we do wish everybody a happy new year. Well, we know everybody's gonna have a happy new year, except for the Panthers, the Jets, the most of the
Well, their off season's already here, so
yeah, most of those teams are gonna have a not so happy new year, and I hope that the Packers just fucking self destruct within the next week. It would be hilarious if they did. But we'll get to that in a little bit. With me right now, of course, I have my heavy metal brother, and this is appropriate because the cleaner came back at World's End from North Carolina. A man whose rants last longer than Kofi Kingston's WWE title reign. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Please, a man whose opinions are more horribly reviewed than Kevin Federline's "Playing with Fire" album.
Oh,
Please help me welcome my boy, Big Stevie Wyand. What's up, brother?
yeah, you are correct that my rants last longer than 9 seconds compared to Kofi's title run.
It's also longer than you last in bed. Hey-oh!
Hello.
Oh yeah, whatever. Anyways, welcome everybody to our final show of 2024. Looking forward to a phenomenal show with you guys as we are coming at you live for a second time in a week on a Monday night during the middle of Monday Night Raw. Yes, like Ezra, you said, for the final time on network television, and also during tonight's Monday Night Football game in Santa Clara. Yes, Hijacker, we are being politically correct as far as locational values in Santa Clara, California, when the Detroit Lions face the San Francisco 49ers in a rematch of the NFC Championship game from last year. Obviously, San Francisco has nothing to play for. They are eliminated from playoff contingency, but Detroit has everything to play for because no matter if they win, which they obviously want to win, but even if they lose, they are still going to be playing against the Minnesota Vikings for the top spot in the NFC, and not just the top spot in the NFC conference, but the NFC North Division title will be on the line. And whoever wins that game on Sunday night will have a first round bye. And looking forward to tonight as we recap not just week 17 in the NFL. We also do our final prediction battles for week 18 and our final regular season predictions for the regular season. But we also will be giving our top 5 moments in this year's calendar year in the world of sports, whether that be championships won, signings, trades, games played during this year's calendar year, whatever is on your list. That's all fine and dandy with all of us here. And looking forward to tonight. So let's get the show on the road, boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And man, we got a lot to get into. And of course, we're gonna get um we're gonna get right into some the news, of course, of the day, and that is, of course, we start off with our boy Adam Schefter. Of course, what I mean by is our boy, he doesn't even know we fucking exist, but he's still our boy nonetheless. Unlike our boy Lance Meadow, which, by the way, you can hear him call Giants coverage, by the way, on Sirius XM radio. So,
And shout outs to Lance. Lance does a great job at what he does.
yeah, and he's a former guest on the show as well too. So, big shout out to Lance.
We're gonna try to get him on during the playoffs or after the season is over, to kind of talk about this season and how it went and all of that good stuff. So I'll be reaching out to Lance at some point this week to try to get something maybe pre-recorded and uploaded to the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Before we begin the actual sports talk, we definitely want to send. Obviously, there was the big news that broke yesterday that former President Jimmy Carter passed away at 100 years old. Jimmy was a big figure in world peace, as well as being the 39th president of the United States of America. A guy who, came up from a peanut farm in the middle of Georgia or Virginia to now being the president of the United States, to being an advocate for world peace, to winning to everything. And of course, the man lived to be 100. He was in hospice for a while, and then still kicked cancer's ass, kicked everything else's ass, and made it all the way to the big 100. And it is sad, but he is now with his wife. Rosalind, and now it's a sad thing. But hey, man lived a full life, and of course, all flags are at half staff for him, and he was a big figure in American history. So, rest in peace to the late great Jimmy Carter, who passed away yesterday at the age of 100 years old. All right, moving on. Let's get on to the sports news, and obviously, there was a lot of news over the past week, and we're gonna get into some ones, of course, and we're gonna get into some games when we talk about this too. So we're gonna kind of kill two birds with one stone. Obviously, yesterday, Vikings had one hell of a battle against Green Bay. It was a tough test. Obviously, they were up 27-10. But Green Bay stormed back with Jordan Love coming in there in the clutch, just coming really taking it to them. But you got to give some praise to on that final play in that fourth quarter to Cam Akers.
And also to Sam Darnold, who was very aggressive, because after Green Bay scored that touchdown to get to within 2, they came out throwing the ball aggressively on that final drive, and they got multiple first downs to ice this game. And just give credit to the Vikings for, trying to, be aggressive and not run the ball and give Green Bay a shot in hell in winning this game. And kudos to Darnold and company. And Darnold also made history in the NFL, becoming the very first starting quarterback to start on another team the following season and win 14 games.
Yeah, that's coming off the heels of them losing, I believe it was Dobbs, right? Or was not Dobbs. It was who did they lose at the beginning of the season?
No, Darnold actually was the starting. I'm sorry. You're right.
Wasn't it Dobbs?
McCarthy.
Oh yeah,
McCarthy.
McCarthy was slated to be the starter. And obviously, the injury bug bit him, and Darnold was thrust into the starting role. And got to give him credit. He played very well. There was a couple of weeks that he had a little bit of turnover. Turnover problems, throwing interceptions in multiple games against the Colts, and I believe one of them was like against Seattle, or I think so. I think those are the 2 games in a row where he had multiple turnovers in those weeks. He did struggle a bit during the time, but he bounced back and he continued to have a great season, and got to give credit to him, and not just him, but the offensive line played very well as well. I mean, again, like we see on this show time and time again, myself, you, Joey, and Kevin and company have always said that you have to have an offensive line to protect that quarterback in order for the quarterback to have time for plays to develop and to get the ball down the field. And congrats to Sam Darnold and the and the Vikings for having a hell of a season and proving the critics wrong that, even though they lost Kirk Cousins in the offseason to Atlanta, in the end, Minnesota had the last laugh because obviously Kirk Cousins is sitting on the bench.
Yeah, and he's probably not going to play another down for Atlanta. We'll get to that in a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, too, yeah, definitely the offensive line really has got to get a lot of credit because they gave Sam a lot of time in the pocket to be able to get that ball off. Darnold didn't suffer a lot of sacks. He was able to get that ball off his hands real quick to his receivers. Justin Jefferson had one of the greatest catches that doesn't count. That one-handed grab that looked like it just stuck there like a fly to a piece of fly paper, and it was caught, and he took it down with him. Problem was a holding penalty on the offense.
It's the greatest catch that will never count. I mean, just my God, this guy single-handedly, literally and figuratively, is catching passes that look like they're going to be incomplete, and yet he somehow finds a way, to the football. And obviously, TJ Hawkinson for the Vikings, he's become an incredible weapon, at catching passes with Darnold in his offense attack and Addison as well. I mean, just these Vikings are not messing around. Like, they can play and beat the best NFL teams in this year. I mean, they beat Green Bay. They've hung in there with some of the best teams this year. When they went on this winning streak. When they were on the road, and they've been a very good team, not just on the road but also at home. I mean, they're a very tough team to play, and it'll be a hell of a game to wrap up the season this year against the Lions on Sunday night in Detroit.
Yeah, but that was almost what I was getting ready to say. That excuse me, that the Lions and Vikings got a little reward by having their game flexed to Sunday night instead of being a traditional afternoon game or really early afternoon game, late afternoon. So now it's on possibly the biggest stage, which is Sunday Night Football, which makes sense for a game that means so much. Obviously, fighting over the number one seed and, of course, the NFC North Championship. So, obviously that's going to be an awesome game. I look forward to it. I can't wait. And then we're going to talk about another game that happened yesterday, and that is, of course, big congratulations to my buddy here, Joey. His Commanders pulled out one hell of a victory, took the number 6 spot. Congratulations to the Commanders on a hell of a game. Joey, do you remember? I'm sure you remember, obviously. Well, obviously, we got to give big Zach Ertz, man, the tight end, your boy. Entering Sunday night, he had 55 catches for 538 yards. He caught 6 passes for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. So now to have his record and his incentives for that, he got $750,000 in incentives.
That's right. Yep. He got $250,000 for making 60 catches. He got $250,000 for gaining over 600 yards receiving, and another $250,000 because that last touchdown in overtime gave him 6 touchdowns on the year.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, your Commanders, they came to play, and it was a hard-fought win, but they were able to get it in OT. And Joey, you being a Commanders fan, I mean, right now your team is in a good spot in the wild card. For a good spot.
Indeed. I mean, we definitely are in the best possible spot right now, because if I'm Washington, I would not, and I repeat, would not want to go back up to Philly right away for a postseason bout with the Eagles. Because the Eagles, yes, they have had a great year. Yes, they are the NFC East champs. But I'm pretty sure that somewhere, either in the back of Jalen Hurts' mind or Coach Nick Sirianni's mind, that postseason meltdown from last year when the Eagles got their asses handed to them by the Bucs is probably still living rent-free in somebody's head in that Philadelphia Eagles organization. So that they are going to want to get that loss out of their head, and whoever is standing across from them in the wild card round, I'm going to feel sorry for that team. Now, if by some chance it's Green Bay, they actually might give Philadelphia a little bit of a challenge. And I'm not saying Washington wouldn't give them a challenge, because honestly, Washington would, but Philly. Oh, and plus, if it comes to the point where we have to face Philly in the wild card round, which God forbid we don't, you know that Philadelphia is still going to be reeling from that last second loss that Jaden Daniels gave them just last week. So, Philadelphia, I don't really want to play them right now. I do not want to play them right now in the wild card round, but we're not thinking about the playoffs right now because we still got one more game in the regular season down in Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And Jaden Daniels himself, after in his post-game interview, said, "Oh yeah, it's nice to make the playoffs, but it's not time for the playoffs yet. We still got one more game to deal with in Dallas. So right now, I'm focusing on Dallas, and then we can focus on the playoffs." And I'm like, that right there is a true leader.
Absolutely.
That's also the sign of that's also the sign of veteran leadership in a rookie.
Yes, it is. So,
because you know,
I have been very, very impressed with what Jaden Daniels has done so far in his rookie season. I mean, Washington right now is pretty much ahead of the game, because this was supposed to be a rebuilding year, or as Coach Dan Quinn calls it, a recalibrating year, where we were going to be expected to win 7, 8, maybe even 9 games. But we have far exceeded expectations as to what everybody has been expecting of us this year. And honestly, I don't see any signs of us slowing down anytime soon. So let's just hope it stays like it is.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to quickly say about that is that like you said, it shows when it comes to Jada Daniels, it shows veteran leadership in a rookie. Not only that, you see a lot of these rookies. A lot of times in interviews will put the cart before the horse, and they'll get excited and all that stuff, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we're in the playoffs, and it's such a great deal." Blah blah blah. But they forget there's still one game ahead, and they still got to play in the playoffs to get to that next tier. It's not done. You don't have time to you can celebrate mildly, maybe go out, have a drink or two, and chill or whatever. Be excited, yes, but there's still work to be done.
Exactly. So maybe Miami, maybe Miami Hurricanes quarterback Cam Ward needs to be taking notes.
Yeah, I could say that,
because for those of y'all that don't know, the story of Cam Ward, he starts Miami's bowl game against Iowa State. In the first half, he breaks the record for most touchdown passes thrown in a single season. And then comes second half, he's like, well, I've already done my business. I've already set the record. I got my team in a good spot. So you know what? I'm going to be a douchebag and I'm going to sit out the whole second half. What an asshole. Making Miami's bowl game all about him.
What a mockery. What an idiot.
Exactly. And I was talking to my dad about this earlier. If I was an NFL pro scout, I would be like, see, Cam Ward first round. Well, after that stunt he pulled, I would say maybe 4th or 5th round.
I would have yanked money, out of his pocket because, like, oh, you want to sit the rest of the game? You know what? Go screw yourself. You're done.
Exactly.
You're done.
We'll take your NIL money back.
And see, that's the problem with college athletes, not to get on a quick tangent about that, but that's the problem with these college athletes today. Now that these kids are getting paid like they're professional athletes, do in the NFL and across all 4, North American sports leagues, now that these kids are getting paid, they're thinking that they're entitled. Oh, you owe me this, you owe me that, blah, 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 blah. They don't owe you shit.
Nope. They don't.
Nope.
Real quick, shout outs to my buddy Mike here in the chat. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Mike, good to hear from you, brother. You mentioned the Eagles. Let's talk about that. That was a very not only was it a complete and utter destruction of the Cowboys, but it was a very interesting game because obviously Kenny Pickett came in unfortunately with a rib injury. He had worn that special gear underneath the whatever it is, the flap back or whatever that is, flap jacket underneath his gear. Well, he got tagged 2 different times in I believe in the third quarter or the second half, and he got just absolutely wrecked and had to come out of the game. Well, Tanner McKee was put here. Mind you, this kid had never thrown a touchdown in his NFL career. He's never thrown a single touchdown. What does this kid do? 3 for 4, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns, including 1 on his first drive.
Unreal. And not just that, but Devontae Smith caught two TDs by 2 different quarterbacks and over 120 yards receiving.
And then Saquon Barkley, 31 carries for 167 yards.
Saquon Barkley is a man amongst boys. I mean, he might be the single piece that the Philadelphia Eagles have been missing in the last couple of years. Because it was interesting going into the offseason, and that also, could be considered as a top moment for, for this year in a way when it comes to signings, because he goes to Philadelphia, leaving the Giants when they had every opportunity to sign him again to a contract. Instead, they said, no, we'll let you walk to another team, and he walked to their arch rivals.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, and to this day, and from every day going forward, that Giants organization is going to be shooting themselves in the foot because the one man that they put all of that long-term contract money into, the man who was going to lead them to the so-called promised land, got cut mid-season. And now the Giants are without all that money. So yeah, they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot for quite a while.
And Saquon Barkley is 101 yards away from breaking a 40-year record that has stood for the last 40 years. The all-time rushing yards leader in a single season.
But it makes me wonder if he's going to play. Because the Eagles, they can't go any higher than the number 2 seed.
Nope. And they can't go any lower.
And they can't go any lower. So it just makes you wonder if the Eagles are going to sit their starters come Sunday.
Be very interesting to see what happens.
Yep.
Also, Barkley becomes the 9th overall player in NFL history to hit the 2,000 rushing yards plateau.
And I believe he's the first one to hit that mark since Chris Johnson did it a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, for Tennessee.
No, Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson, that's right. I forgot about
Adrian Peterson also was 9 yards away from breaking the record when his Vikings took on the Packers in the final game of the regular season back in 2013 during Adrian Peterson's MVP regular season campaign.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yep. So it's been over a decade since there's been a running back that has hit the 2,000 rushing yards mark. And congratulations to the freak among freaks when it comes to running backs, because all Saquon Barkley needs is a little bit of a gap and a running lane, and he's gone.
Yep, absolutely. You want to talk about history makers? Let's move on to another game, and that was the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, man, made history, being the second player in NFL history to record 5 straight seasons with 40 or more touchdowns. The only other player to do it, Aaron Rodgers, with 6.
And this game against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
That game
Yeah.
was not even that was not even a contest.
And at one point it was 40-0.
To the point where Rodgers basically tried to freaking sit himself out.
Yeah, the Jets actually they got into the end zone with Tyrod Taylor's our quarterback.
Yeah, at one point it was 40-0 Buffalo. I'm like, this game's over. Just fast forward the clock. It's over.
Mercy rule.
Yes.
But unfortunately, there's no skunk in the NFL though.
Nope.
Some of these games I wish they would because we're gonna start having fucking college football scores.
Yeah.
Where these teams are gonna be like 71-0.
Well, we did have a 720 burger, but that was a couple years ago.
Well,
Dolphins and Broncos.
Yeah, but that's a
But
Broncos.
then again, we don't want to. I mean, yes, we don't want to see high-scoring games, but we also
Oh no!
don't
Don't
want
say
to
it.
see low-scoring games. Because...
Damn it! You had to go there. Okay.
Yes, I had to go there
for the longest time.
because
for the
when
longest freaking
because
time.
now we have
For
seen
the
a baseball
longest
score.
time.
We have now seen a baseball final score.
We literally, for the longest time, we're talking about the worst possible game. Mind you, came a couple of days before my birthday a couple years ago when that shitty Colts and Broncos game took place. And then, oh, by the way, we had to save the worst Thursday night game for the last. And not just the worst Thursday night game for last, quite possibly and literally the worst played, quote unquote, professional football game by any organizations, let alone Ezra's Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh,
this
God.
was an abomination of a football game. This was so badly played for nearly 3.5 quarters. Nobody could cross the other team's opposite 40-yard line to get into their side of the field. And then during this shitty game, the only points that were scored was 6-3 Seattle at the first half. After that, nope.
It's like a
other
bad game of
points.
Madden that Titus O'Neil played.
Yeah. Oh, I got a chance for a field goal. Kick. Nope. Kick. I'm okay. I got it. Nope. I mean, it was a very bad played game. It was so bad. To the point where Chicago fans, rightly so, were chanting, sell the team.
Amen. I agree. Fucking McCaskies need to fucking just go away, croak.
Yeah. I mean, this was so bad. I mean, also, and I was sitting here listening to this game on Westwood One, and I'm sitting here going, I bet Ezra is losing his mind right now. Because at one point, Chicago had nothing to lose. They're already out of playoff contingency. They've lost up until that point. They're 9 games in a row, and they had a 4th and 10. Oh, we're gonna call a time. Oh, we're gonna punt it. We're gonna punt it. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell? Why are you gonna punt it when you have nothing to lose? And then they went for it, and yay, they got the first down. Whoop-de-doo. And then he threw a pick a couple plays later to lose their 10th consecutive game. Oh. This was so bad. I'm so glad that the Seahawks did not win the NFC West. So glad. Because his team has been a literal joke as well at times. There's been weeks where Geno Smith has played really well. And then there's weeks, oh God, what is he throwing that ball for in double and triple coverage and throwing pick sixes? Oh, this game was so bad.
I mean, look. At least we scored more points than the Houston Texans did, so we got that going for us.
Well, this is true. By the way, that game was terrible too.
By the way, Hijacker is one lucky bastard. He got 2 safeties.
Yes.
2 safeties, 2 and 2.
Oh, and by the way, also real quick too, we got to talk about. You mentioned the Giants. The Giants fucked up. They won the game.
They did.
Yeah,
they lost the number 1 draft pick.
You had a golden opportunity on the silver platter, and you let it get away.
Good Lord.
And the Colts defense sucks. I mean, they say their worst performance for the last game of the Giants at home at
Joe
MetLife
Flacco
Stadium.
was there. What'd you expect?
Oh, they were so bad. And Joe Flacco didn't play good at all. Jonathan Taylor couldn't really get nothing going all game long. And even when he did, it didn't matter at all. I mean, just this Colts team, just like the Titans, just like the Texans, and the Jaguars at that, very suspect at best. I mean, it was they picked the worst time to play their worst defensive game this season. This is just as bad when 3 years ago, when the Colts had a win in your in scenario. Remember this, fellas? When they faced the Jaguars, who were considered the laughing stock of the AFC, of the AFC conference that year in 2021, they go into Jacksonville, I think it was in Jacksonville, and they got their shit kicked in. Carson Wentz was terrible in that game. Jonathan Taylor couldn't get nothing going in that game. They saved their worst performance last night against the Giants last night and reminded us all why we can't trust this team and pick this team consistently because of horrible defensive battles like this, of not covering receivers and not, blowing up the holes for the running backs to get through. I mean, there was a running lane for anybody on that Giants team. I mean, Drew Lock looked like Tom freaking Brady out there on the football field yesterday. Rushing touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns. I'm like, good Lord. Like, this is bad. This is really bad.
This just in. Beverly Hills 90210, Cleveland Browns 3. And it makes sense because Cleveland only scored 3 points this week. So there you go.
They had a chance to hit 16, but they didn't.
Oh, by the way, also we got to talk about Tampa Bay just absolutely crushing our good old friends, the Carolina Panthers.
And by the way, shout outs to the mightiest Ducks of them all for being on that football field yesterday in that Tampa Bay Panther game. Oh, that was great.
What, to fail miserably? Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
I'm just sitting there going, what the duck?
I'm just glad you couldn't see that game, Steven, because it would have made you, if you're a Panthers fan, it would have made you angry. You would be Red Hulk from the new Captain America movie.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Baker Mayfield had a great game. 5 touchdown passes in this game, especially 2 to Mike Evans. I mean,
Baker had one hell of a game, man. That was one of his best performances. Obviously, we also had Cincinnati and Denver go at it, 30-24.
Oh, and that was one of my favorite games of this season. And oh, by the way, it didn't hit me at first, but afterwards I thought about it. I called Joey and said, dude, check this out. He said, what? I said, not only did I get the game correct, but I outright picked the score and the circumstances of the game and how long it was going to go. I called Bengals 30-24 in overtime on a game-winning touchdown drive. Touchdown pass. And it happened. And if you're Denver, this was your best chance at winning and getting in. I mean, yes, even though Bo Nix did throw that interception into double coverage where the receiver was covered and covered like a blanket and there was no opening, spot for him to catch the ball. Bo Nix had a great game, including that touchdown to tie the game. Cold-blooded touchdown pass. 25 yards out to tie the game. And if I was Denver, I honestly would have gone for the win. I was surprised that they went for the tie. And I'm wondering during that game, did Sean Payton realize that if his team would have tied Cincinnati, they would have gotten into the playoffs? Because Cincinnati needed to win that game. And Joe Burrow, I got to give him credit too. 39 of 49 for 412 yards in this game, including 3 TDs to T. Higgins.
By the way, our boy Randy Gyron is in the chat.
What's up, Randy?
He said, I'm so glad the Raiders decided to win a few, not no one worth taking early as far as the draft goes. He says. He also says, also the Raiders' motto is just win, baby, not just tank, baby. The fans that wanted him to tank could go to hell. And of course, that was our boy Randy Guiron, of course.
Sprocket approves this message.
Yeah, meow, bitches. Yeah. Of course, we had Kansas City, Pittsburgh. We had that game 29-10, which we obviously knew that was coming.
Chef Ross has picked the worst possible times to cook interceptions in the kitchen. I mean, this was another bad performance by Russell Wilson. I mean, yes, we've been singing his praises week after week. You know, him putting up good numbers with Pittsburgh since they made him the starting quarterback against the Jets. But these last 3 games for Pittsburgh, they have not been clicking on all cylinders.
And then we had the Chargers absolutely blow the Patriots out 40-7.
Yeah, that was no contest. And gotta give credit where credit is due. Jim Harbaugh has these boys ready to play. I mean, he came in and we had a feeling that he was going to be a difference maker in this organization because Brandon Staley, that no good hack, was out of the office and out of the clutches of that team's organization. And for Harbaugh to come in and clean house, literally and figuratively, the Los Angeles Chargers are where they thought they were going to be last year in the last couple of years, where they should have been, and that's making a playoff run. And having Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, coming off of winning the national title with Michigan a year ago against Washington, he has had a really good run with Justin Herbert and company. And got to give credit to Herbert because even despite not having household names, Justin Herbert has had the best, in my opinion, his best overall consistency in performing in the regular season this year, heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Also too, the Rams barely squeaking by the Cardinals in a weird score, 13-9.
Yeah, and the Cardinals had a chance to play spoiler and set up the Seahawks and Rams game for the NFC West Division title. But since the Rams held on by the skin of their teeth, and with also the Falcons losing to the Commanders last night and Seattle, even though they beat Chicago in that shitty football game again, to remind you for those that aren't tuning in right now that watches on demand, thank you. It was one of the worst games of all time, especially this year. With that win by the Rams against the Cardinals, and with the Falcons losing to Washington last night, the Rams by default are NFC West Division champions. And what a run the Rams have had this year. Going from 1-4 to winning the division crown. And Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp and company have had a really good season this year when they are healthy. And honestly, if I am anybody that's not the Rams, I do not want to play them. I really don't. Because the Rams can wreck your game plan with a drop of a dime. Literally. Because Matthew Stafford believes in any throw that he throws. Because as long as Nacua, as long as Cooper Kupp, and even Tyler Higbee are there en route to catch the passes, he's gonna believe in his playmakers to make plays.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Other news before we take a break from this and get into some Major League Baseball stuff. Mike Vrabel's consulting agreement with the Cleveland Browns expired today. He's eligible.
Yep, I read that today. Yep.
Yep, the Jets and Saints and Bears are interested in him. Also, the Bears are interested as well in Pete Carroll, or not interested in him, but Pete Carroll is one of the names that's floating around, but also Ben Johnson, the current offensive coordinator for the Lions, is probably the heavy favorite to get the job.
And also, speaking of head coaching vacancies, Ron Riverboat Rivera is going to be interviewing with the Jets this week.
Yep.
Also possibly
also former Jets coach Rex Ryan is
yes,
with the Jets once again.
Oh, do I miss Rex Ryan's classic F-bombs and NFL sound effects. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. Oh, and let's talk about this funny thing. The duck.
Whack,
There was a duck
whack,
that landed on the field during the Tampa Bay Carolina game.
whack.
Quack. What? Quack. Wait.
Whack, whack.
Wait. Nathaniel Hackett isn't coaching right now.
Nathaniel Quack it.
Also, real quick. Obviously, Monday Night Football is getting ready to start here. So, quick here. The inactives for the 49ers tonight: Brandon Allen, Khalil Davis, Dre Greenlaw, Spencer Burford, Robert Beal Jr., Javarius Ward, and Israel Abanikanda. Those are all the inactives tonight for the Niners. Let's see. Also, two here. We obviously know about the scenarios and all this stuff. I'm trying to get through to some of the actual other news from the week. Let's see here. I was reading about what's his name? Chuba Hubbard, I believe is his name.
Yes.
Yeah, Cuba Hubbard.
Yeah, there was a stat on him that I just saw, but my freaking app crashed. Oh, here we. I think I got it now as I'm getting to it. Yeah. Oh, they placed him on injury reserve due to a calf and knee injury.
He's been really good in their push in their competitive games with Carolina these last 5 to 6 several weeks.
Yeah, he rushed for 1,195 yards before he was shut down.
Yep, the sixth leading rusher in the NFL this year.
Um,
And not too bad for a guy who wasn't even supposed to start because
Nope.
on the draft pick that they got in the second round, Jonathan Brooks was supposed to be the one to start.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely going to be earning some money in the offseason with the Panthers. Rightly so.
Or if not the Panthers, then definitely another team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Cowboys! There's the actual running back.
Oh, please. If he goes to Dallas, he ain't going to get half the yards because Dallas don't have an O-line that knows how to block.
No, just said, you know what? Ezekiel Elliott. Hey, there's a job opening for you there, pal.
yeah, he was too busy at the kettle pot this holiday season,
Yeah.
Yes.
trying to raise that money. This big news came out, of course, a few days ago, and that is Deshaun Jackson and Delaware State finalized an agreement for him to be the head coach.
Yep, and not only that, but Michael Vick has agreed to a deal to be the head coach for Norfolk State.
Please keep your pets away from Mr. Vick at all times.
Yes.
Oof.
Oof. Oof.
Oh my. Hit you with that George Takei.
Yeah.
You got a beautiful oh no, I'm not going there. I wasn't gonna finish that one. Say that one for after the show. Obviously, we gotta talk about this. We would be remiss, and that is, of course, the passing of the late great Greg Gumbel.
Yes.
Oh,
One of the
yes.
greatest announcers in sports
After
history.
50 years in the sports industry, he passed away from cancer at the age of 78 years old.
If I'm not mistaken, did he call the miracle in Mile High with the Ravens and the Broncos? I think he did. I believe he did call that game.
Let me research.
He is one of the greatest play-by-play announcers in sports history. He has had some big games that he has called over the years.
That was the Mile High Miracle, right?
Correct. 2012.
Yeah, he did call it.
Very good call.
Yep. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, and Solomon Wilcots.
Yep. Greg, always spot on with his calls. One of the best to ever do it. Alongside, obviously, in my opinion, along with him, Kevin Harlan's one of the greatest commentators in sports history as well. I mean, especially during that Bengals and Broncos game for this past weekend. My God, put that man in the Hall of Fame. Seriously.
Absolutely.
And put Greg in the Hall of Fame too while you're at it.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Both Greg and Kevin deserve to be in the rightful spot in Canton.
I agree, and we send our condolences to family and friends and fellow fans like us of Greg Gumbel, and of course Brian Gumbel as well. Just an overall sad day to hear that, but it is what
He
it
left
is.
behind us legendary calls, legendary games that will be in our memory banks for the rest of our lives.
Absolutely. Now, before we go into the score predictions, I do want to get into some baseball news because there has been a little bit of activity.
Yeah.
We got
And
we got Josh Bell, who signed with the Nationals on a 1-year, $6 million deal after recording 134 hits and 71 RBIs on the Marlins and the D-backs. Also, too, Trevor Williams has agreed to a deal to return to the Washington Nationals. That's a 2-year, $14 million contract as well. Also, the Rangers have finalized a 2-year agreement with Jock Peterson.
ooh, interesting.
Yep. It is 2 years, $37 million with an opt-out after 2025.
Man, that's a good pickup for the Rangers.
I know you guys are, when I said that, you guys had some. So, Joey, you have other things you may want to discuss here before we get to our prediction battles?
Not really. I mean, I really haven't been keeping tabs on
I
baseball
have
as of
something
late.
I want to say, and
Go for it.
that is regards to that no good piece of shit of a president in sports, Dave Cavill, the man who orchestrated the move of the Oakland Athletics out of Oakland to move to Las Vegas, announced a couple of days ago that reported by multiple media sources that he is stepping down as the team president of the Athletics. And for that, on behalf of myself, you Ezra, you Joey, Kevin, Hijacker, everybody out there that has supported, that has been on this show, that has talked endlessly about the Oakland Athletics situation with John Fisher, with Dave Cavill. Fuck you and the horse you rode on, because you have done nothing but disgrace the city of Oakland. You have done nothing but disgrace the Athletics organization fan base, the team that has been there for you through the good times, through the bad times, through all the ups and downs of making it into the playoffs, making runs at division titles, and making runs at getting in possibly to a playoff run. No matter what, these people were there for you, your organization, and you spat in front of all of their faces. Every fan base in Major League Baseball, from sea to shining sea, from the East Coast to the Midwest, all the way to the West Coast, everybody was supporting the Oakland Athletics because they believed that this team needed to stay put. And you guys know as well as I do, we have seen in every city, every major state across, North America, and across South America, and across everywhere in between. We have seen these cities, these teams have made, renovations to their ballparks and stuff and their stadiums. We have seen this. And it just drives me bonkers. And I know Hijacker, when he hears this, he's going to be sitting here shaking his head at Cavill stepping down as the president of, the Athletics, because even he was pissed obviously, and tweeted about this on Twitter a couple of days ago. I mean, it is a shame that, oh yeah, you orchestrated their move out of Oakland and go to Las Vegas. Yeah, you did. You did your part. And now you want to up and leave? What a pussy. Sorry. Excuse my language, but that just pissed me off. Reading that a couple of days ago.
No, you're good. You're good. Your language is more inappropriate. I see a lot worse, so there you go.
No, this is true.
Oh, I don't deny it. But moving on. Let's real quick, I'm gonna check the world here. Obviously, let's see here. Oh, here we go. UFC light heavyweight Azamat Murzakanov has been suspended from the UFC for an anti-doping policy violation.
Oh boy.
Yep, that was just revealed. Damon Jackson, who lost to Jim Miller at UFC 309, said he is not going to retire despite the request from Dana White to do so. He says, "I am not done," even though he did remove himself from the drug testing pool. So you got that coming up. Also too, big news here. At Ryzen Decade over in Japan is going to be the MMA pro debut of Taisei Sakuraba.
Ooh, interesting.
The son of the legend. The son of the legend, Kazushi Sakuraba.
Interesting.
Yep, he will make his official debut against veteran Yusuke Diachi at Rise of Decade on New Year's Eve. So,
very cool.
Obviously, Tokyo Dome is not the only thing that's going to be going on. Wrestle Kingdom is going to be the only thing going on. So, if you watch MMA, check out Ryzen.
Very cool.
Also, too, let's go ahead and let's get to the picks, man. We got the pick updates or the pick time we got to do, and of course, this pick. I usually have some sort of clever advertisement thing, like Mongrovian Mike sent Equinox Free. This week, I'll just leave you with this little study I saw. Is that 10 out of 10 beauticians agreed that if you tell your girlfriend she drew her eyebrows too high, she'll look surprised.
Wow.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
And also, there's a new element to the periodic table. It is described by the letters AH, which is of course the element of surprise.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Bruh.
Or how about this one? The guy who got arrested for stealing while on the shoulders of two vampires. He was charged with shoplifting on 2 counts.
Dang.
There's that for you. I've got more. I can keep going. How about the guy who lied about guy who supposedly founded the world's smallest piano player was found to be lying today? I guess it's another case of a man lying about the size of his pianist. There you go. How you doing? All right, let's get.
How you doing?
Try the veal. Let's get started, everybody. And yes, Mongrovian Mike, you might need to turn your hearing aid up. And Neil, you're about to get rage driven by the Cowboys picks, so be prepared. Just like when your Yankees blow it in the playoffs.
Oh, but wait. Will Aaron Judge be responsible for them possibly blowing it again? I say yes. I'm telling you, that is still the most hilarious stat in numbers that I read early on in the fall this year. Reading that his girlfriend's blood alcohol content was higher than his batting average in the World Series. Sorry, Mike, if you're still here in the chat there, buddy. But even you told me that was hilarious. That his girlfriend's blood alcohol content when she was arrested was higher than his batting average in the World Series.
God help us all.
Oh, Lord help us.
Yeah. Moving on here, guys. We got the
picks. And before we get to the picks, also the Sugar Bowl and the quarterfinal games in the college football tournament are going to be taking place in the next couple of days.
Absolutely. We'll be covering that on next week's show as well.
Hopefully, it'll be more competitive. Just saying. Because the
Yeah.
first round was a doozy. It was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Also too, definitely you know what, before we get the picks real quick, you know what, let's just do the picks. All right, we start off with two games on Saturday.
Hang on.
Wait.
Numbers.
Yep. The
Who
numbers.
cares about the damn numbers?
Numbers.
Well, obviously, it's not fully complete yet because, of course, the Monday Night Football game between Detroit and San Francisco will be kicking off in just a few minutes. But as it stands right now, and pretty much how it's gonna stand, is we have a four-way tie this week. Me, Kevin, Steven, and Hijacker are all gonna finish either 14-2 or 13-3.
Oof.
And Ezra, my friend, you're either gonna finish 12-4 or 11-5.
I'll take it. I'll take
Still,
it.
still better than the Cowboys.
And if you combine both numbers, I scored more than the Bears and the Seahawks in that one game.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Ding,
you did.
ding,
Yes, you
ding.
did. But,
Ding, ding, ding,
like,
ding, ding.
So I'm
yes,
happy.
what Steven said in the tiebreaker, this is week 18 pick segment, which means it is tiebreaker time. And I know all of us know the rules, but for those of y'all watching that are not familiar with how a tiebreaker works, here's how it works. All five of us have to pick a different game that's going to be chosen as our tiebreaker. Now, in order to get the full points of the tiebreaker, you have to A, pick the correct team to win, and B, be closest to the final score of that said game that you picked.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and say that the Packers and Bears game, as well as the Lions and Vikings games, are taken.
Okay.
Very interesting. that the
Those
Packers
cannot
game.
be chosen. Those cannot be chosen
Wow.
for our tiebreaker.
That was not on my bingo card.
Yep, so the Packers and Bears and the Lions and Vikings games are taken.
Not surprised the Lions and the Vikings game is taken because that is one of the top games of the week.
Sounds about, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest games to pick too.
Absolutely. Let's start it off with, as I call it, Wrestle Kingdom Day, January 4th.
Yup.
And if these games happen in the Tokyo Dome, they all get 7.5 stars. The Cleveland Browns will take on Baltimore at home for Baltimore.
I'm going to start this one out. I got Baltimore cruising to a victory against the Browns. Give me Baltimore by the score of 28-14.
Oof.
All right, and I got Kevin's score right here. He's got the Ravens coasting over the Browns as well with a score of 30-12.
All right.
I've got 33-13 Baltimore.
Let's see, can somebody read Hijacker scores since I got Kevin's?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I got him. All right.
See, while Ezra's pulling that up, I'm going to go ahead and do my pick. I'm going to side with the Ravens as well. This is going to be the game in which they once again become AFC North champs. Give me Baltimore to win this one, 31-10.
Hijacker. Excuse me. Hijacker has Baltimore winning 24-14.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Next game is Cincinnati going to the Steel City to take on Pittsburgh.
Now, this one is going to be tough because obviously Pittsburgh needs a win and a Baltimore loss to clinch the AFC North. But Cincinnati, they have been one of the hottest teams in football as of late. but they need a win plus losses by the Broncos and the Dolphins in order to clinch a playoff spot. So this one is going to be interesting.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh has been on that 3-game losing skid, and they're stumbling
That's right.
in their way to the playoffs. And meanwhile, here's Cincinnati coming on the road.
So I'm going to go in and get things started off with Kevin's score. He is actually, believe it or not, picking the Bengals. He is picking the Bengals 27-24.
So he's gonna walk. So he's gonna walk like an Egyptian. The Bengals. So Steven, he's gonna walk like an Egyptian because he's picking the Bengals. As far as hijacker goes, he's got as far as that game goes, he's got the Bengals pick it going over to Steelers 24-20. My score is very similar. It's going to be 27-24 Cincinnati Cincinnati over Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow and company.
I'm going.
And
you know what? I'm picking that game as my tiebreaker.
Oh, okay. So he's picking the Bengals 27-24, which is actually the same score as Kevin.
Beautiful.
And I am going to go against the grain. This is where the Bengals season will end by not making the playoffs. Give me Cincinnati to lose in a heartbreaker. Give me Pittsburgh surviving the Cincinnati Bengals in a interception by the Steelers, to win and end Cincinnati's run as one of the hottest teams. However, saying this, going against the grain, will I be surprised if Cincy wins? No, I would not be surprised. But Cincinnati, as we all know, has had 7 consecutive close games at one point this season in a row where they had lost 1-score games this year. 7 1-score losses. Make this number 8. Give me Pittsburgh to win 28-24.
You know, I'm actually going to side with Steven here. I mean, I like Pittsburgh at home because, yes, Pittsburgh has given Cincinnati a fit this year because Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati on Cincinnati's home field, otherwise known as the Jungle. But, I mean, Russell Wilson and the Steelers, they have had a tough stretch as of late, but knowing the coach that Mike Tomlin is, yes, they have clinched a winning record. Yes, they are going to the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to finish this season with a loss, this regular season with a loss, because if they do, then that is not going to lead to any momentum for Pittsburgh whatsoever. So give me the Steelers on a game-winning touchdown. Oh, no. Let's see. Here it is right here. The game's going to be tied at 20 going into overtime. Cincinnati's going to get the ball first. They're going to go down the field and kick a field goal.
Oh.
But then Russell Wilson is going to gain possession, and he's going to drive the Steelers, and he is going to find his number 1 receiver, George Pickens, in the back of the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. Pittsburgh over Cincinnati, 26-23 in overtime.
Okay. I'll give that Yeet.
Yeet.
All right. Next game is the Carolina Panthers heading to the ATL to take on the Falcons. And I will give you Mr. Hijacker's score, and he has Atlanta barely squeaking by 21-18 over the Panthers.
Kevin's score is almost the same, only he's flipped the script. He's picking the Panthers over the Falcons 20-18.
Of course, that motherfucker flipped the script.
I cannot believe I am about to do this. But fuck it.
No! You're
Get
finally gonna pick your favorite team to win, Steven!
No. He's gonna listen. He's gonna listen to Taylor Swift's new album.
Give me those freaking Panthers.
Oh, God!
This is the NFC South we're talking about. Give me the Dirty Birds to lose to Carolina. Give me Carolina to squeak one out 24-20.
Wow.
Cannot believe I am picking Carolina on the road against Atlanta.
Time to get him that Bryce Young jersey for Christmas. You know what? Sounds crazy, but I'm going with the Panthers as well.
Wow.
But here's the score. 21-20.
You know, since my boys have pretty much deflated Atlanta's hopes to try to even make it to the postseason, because we all know the Bucks aren't going to lose their game, which of course we'll get to that one here in just a minute. But, yeah, the Falcons' playoff hopes have pretty much been diminished by my boys last night, so I don't think they honestly have anything else to play for other than the fact that they just want to have a winning record. So, I can't believe I'm saying this either, but I'm picking the Panthers. I'm picking the Panthers 23-17.
Oh, man.
What?
Oh, man. Just thinking about this. My God. Cannot believe we all picked the Panthers. Who would have thunk it?
Yep. All right. Next game is the Commanders going to AT&T Stadium to take on the Cowboys.
Yeah, going into AT&T Stadium to beat the Cowboys' ass again.
Give me the Cowboys. I'm kidding. Give me the Commanders in this one. 28-14. And Hijacker, let's see what Hijacker has to say on this one. Hijacker has got it 24-17, Washington.
Give me Washington to beat the Cowboys 30-14.
All right. Kevin is picking the Commanders over the Cowboys 18-10, which is kind of an odd score. But you know what? My boys are coming off a Sunday night. Actually, my boys are coming off another primetime win. That's right, folks. We have been in primetime 2 times this year, and both times we have walked away with the W. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn have this team and the fans on the high road to success right now. But if we cannot go out there to AT&T Stadium and beat Dallas, who are without Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, which is their top 2 offensive weapons, then we got more problems than we know what to do with. So, give me my Commanders. This was going to be my tiebreaker, but I'm looking at another game in the 4 o'clock slot that I'm probably gonna pick as my tiebreaker. But give me my Commanders. I think it's gonna be a close game because that's how division games tend to go as of late. But I think Jane Daniels is going to do just enough to squeak out another dub. So give me my Commanders. I'm going to go Commanders 28 over Dallas 20.
Okay. Give me the command. Yeah, I said Commanders 30-14. Sorry.
Okay. All right, moving on. To the next game is, of course, Chicago at Green Bay. I'm starting off this one. Unfortunately, I got to pick the Packers in this one. Packers are gonna absolutely kill the Bears. Give me that one. Give me that one. 28. Packers 28-7.
Jordan Love and will claim once again ownership of the Chicago Bears with an ass whipping of a lifetime. Give me the Packers to beat Chicago and end their miserable of a regular season campaign as worse as you could possibly have. After starting 4-2, give me Green Bay to beat Chicago by the score of 31-7.
All right. Kevin is actually picking this game as his tiebreaker. So this is Kevin's tiebreaker, and he has the Packers winning in a close one, 24-20.
Wow.
Which honestly, I can kind of see that because once again, this is a divisional game, and earlier when the Bears played the Packers, it was a 1 point game.
Yep.
So anything can happen though in frigid Green Bay.
Yes, it can.
But I'm gonna go with the Packers as well, unfortunately. I'm gonna go 27-16.
Okay. Hijacker for this game. He's got Green Bay 14, Chicago 9.
Okay.
All right, next game is Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Indy to take on the Colts. I will give Hijacker's score. He's got Jacksonville 22, Indy 19.
All right, and Kevin has the Colts beating the Jaguars 24-15. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and go next. If there is one team that gives the Indianapolis Colts fits, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars because some way, somehow, regardless of the year that Jacksonville has, they always seem to find a way to beat the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, this game will not be any different. I am going to go with the Jaguars.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this one, but I think it's going to be a very close one. I think it's going to be Jacksonville on a game-winning field goal, 19-17.
Ooh. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting game because both of these teams have nothing to lose, but you got a great point there, Joey, because the Jags have always have had the Colts' number. In the last couple of years, especially like I referred to when the Jaguars humiliated the Colts in 2021, when the Colts had the one scenario where you're a win and you're in type of thing. And obviously that didn't happen. And the Jags embarrassed him. However, I do think that the Colts are going to go in going, okay, we're not going to be able to be in the playoffs. We're going to go in there, and this game is in Indy, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think that Jonathan Taylor, I do think him and company are gonna, play with pride and send their pride's gonna kick in and they're gonna go in there and just play to get end on a happy note. Give me the Colts and again, this is a divisional game. Give me the Colts to squeak out a close victory against their arch rivals in the AFC South. Give me the Colts to beat the Jaguars 23-17.
All right.
Give me Jacksonville in this one. It's gonna be kind of a low scoring game. I'm gonna give it 17-14.
Okay.
All right, next game should be an easy pick. It's the Buffalo Bills going to New England to take on the Patriots. Give me Buffalo in this one, 37-7. And Hijacker's pick, because his stuff is all out of whack. I gotta look through his scores to find it. It's not in order like it is on NFL.com, like I usually have it.
Yeah.
It's like completely off sector. So let me take a look here. Okay, 40-10. He's got Buffalo over the Pats.
All right. Kevin is picking the Bills over the Patriots 23-14 in this one.
Give me Buffalo as well. Give me Buffalo to beat up on the Pats 28-13.
I'm gonna go with the Bills as well, but I'm gonna say this one's gonna be close because keep in mind the last time these two teams played, the Patriots jumped out to a 14-0 lead,
That's true.
Wound up losing only by a score of 24-21.
That's true.
So I'm gonna go with the Bills though. I'm gonna go Bills by a touchdown, 27-20.
Okay.
All right, everybody got the scores in on that one?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, next game is the New York Football Giants heading to Philly to take on the Eagles in Lincoln Financial Field.
Kevin is picking the Eagles over the Giants in this one, 28-20. I'm gonna follow suit, and I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm gonna go Eagles 34-14.
Oh, almost similar score. Give me Philly 31-14.
I have 30-20 Philly. And Hijacker has winning 28-13 Philly over the Giants. So, all right, next game is the Saints taking on Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa Bay. Give me Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay in this one to absolutely wreck the Saints. No question. Give me that game 35-10. And Hijacker has that game. He has that game 20-10 Tampa Bay over New Orleans.
And Kevin has the Bucks over the Saints 34-13.
Okay.
Okay. Give me the Buccaneers as well to not only outright pummel the Saints, but win the NFC South Division crown. Give me the Buccaneers to beat the living hell out of the Aints, because they ain't going nowhere. Give me the Buccaneers to smother the Saints. Give me Tampa Bay 35-7.
All right.
Bucks 31-14.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next game is the Houston Texans going to the Music City to take on the Titans.
Okay.
Hmm.
Let's see. Kevin is
Hmm.
picking. He's picking the Texans over the Titans in this one, 23-14.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow suit. I'm gonna go almost the same score. Texans 24, Titans 17.
Ooh, similar score, but 1 point off. Give me the Texans 23-17.
Hijacker has this game here. He has the Houston Tennessee game. He's got Houston 17, Tennessee 6. I'm gonna go Houston 20 to 13. All right. Next game is a West Coast battle. It is the Niners taking on the Cards.
And a game that means nothing.
And it's gonna be in the desert of Arizona in Glendale.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start things off with Kevin's score. He's got the Cardinals surprisingly over his Niners, 27-22, and he
Wow.
has a side note. He says, "I want that to happen so the 49ers get to play the last place team in every division next season by being in last this year."
Ah.
Hmm.
I like it. A
Huh.
method to the madness.
Yes. He may have created the sound of madness.
Well, I wrote the book on pain. Somehow I'm still here to explain.
Yeah, and Kevin puts a middle linebacker in as tight end on Madden.
Yeah, he did.
Of
Against
course
you.
he did.
Yeah.
Of course he
Against
did.
you. Against you.
Against me, of all people, yeah. And not only that, but he put the kicker in at quarterback as well.
Yep.
Okay, give me the cards. Give me the cards in this one. Give me the cards in this one. 24 to 18. And Hijacker's score on that is he's got Santa Clara winning this one.
Wow.
Wow.
21 to 17.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals as well. I mean, I really hate to go against the Niners, but then again, the Niners, they don't really have anything to play for at this point. So give me the Cardinals 23-20.
Same score, but give me San Francisco 23-20.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next game is the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Mile High to take on the Broncos.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get things started off with Kevin's score in this one. He's got the Broncos pulling off the upset, 30-23. I'm gonna go ahead and go next, and this game right here is my tiebreaker. This game right here is my tiebreaker. The Chiefs, they literally have nothing to play for because they've already clinched the best record in all the league. They've already clinched the number one seed in the AFC.
Yep.
They've already clinched the bye.
Yep.
And they've already clinched home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Yep.
So I do not see any starters for Kansas City playing in this game. So this is definitely going to be Denver's game to win. Because if Denver wants to go to the postseason, this is where they need to step it up. So, with that being said, I am picking the Broncos to pull off the upset here in Kansas City. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going
In
with the
Denver.
Broncos to win on their home field. So I'm going to go with the Broncos. And again, this is my tiebreaker. I'm going to go with the Broncos over the Chiefs 27-21.
Ooh. Okay.
All right, I got Kansas City. It's going to be a tough game because obviously Mile High, it's a hard place to play because of the elevation. Um I think Denver's going to give him one hell of a fight. Give me it's going to be 28-23 is my final score on that. Kansas City. And Hijackers got it 31-20 Kansas City over Denver.
Give me the Broncos to squeak it out and have a puncher's chance in getting into the playoffs because, like you said, Joey, the Chiefs have nothing to play for. This is Denver's game to win and possibly get in. Give me the Broncos to win and give their fans something to cheer about and hopefully and pray to the football gods above to have a puncher's chance at getting into the postseason. Give me the Broncos to beat the Chiefs outright. Give me the Broncos 34-17.
Whoa! Wow! That I was not expecting. Wow.
Well, you don't expect much from Steven, so that's pretty much what you get. But
That's true. I mean, what more? I mean, what more can you? That is true. I mean, what more can you expect from a Dave Grohl lookalike?
One of these things is not like the other. I mean, what can I say? I'm just another one.
dude, I'm looking for a sign of breathing. I'm looking for a sign of life.
All my life, I've been searching for something.
Yeah.
Never comes in, never means to nothing.
I just need to be rescued.
Yeah, because after that, I'll be done and done on to the next one.
And we just lost all of our viewers making Foo Fighters references. Great job, Steven.
Yeah.
Our two viewers. Here we go. Seahawks going to LA to take on the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams in this one. Give me the Rams to beat the Seahawks and put them out of their misery. Give me the Rams in this one. Give me the Rams 28. 28. It's a divisional game. So again, this is a divisional game, so it's going to be kind of probably a tough one in a way because the Seahawks are not going to go out quiet. Give me the Rams to win this game 28-21.
All right, Kevin is picking the Rams over Seattle 17-9. I'm going to follow suit and pick the Rams as well, but I'm feeling kind of odd in this one. So give me the Rams over the Seahawks 19-14.
Yeah, give me the Rams. Give me the Rams in this one. Give me the Rams in this one. 20. Yeah, 20-10. And Kevin, or not Kevin, keep saying it. I'm so used to doing Kevin's scores sometimes too. Hijackers score on that game is. Let's see here. I'm looking down his stuff. As far as the Rams go, you got the Rams winning 28-21.
Same score. Nice.
All right. Next game is, speaking of LA, Chargers are taking on the Raiders in Vegas.
All right, let's see. Kevin is picking the Chargers outright in this one.
Wow.
33-11.
Huh. What a score.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
get
with the Chargers as well. This has not been the year that Antonio Pierce has been wanting, and this is definitely not the year that after that amazing finish last year that no Vegas fan wanted to experience this year, and the Chargers, led by the national championship cheater, yes, folks, I called him a cheater, Jim Harbaugh, are going to put the Raiders out of their misery. Give me the Chargers, 35-13.
34-10 for me for the Chargers.
Chargers, I got them winning. Got them winning. Got them winning 30. I got them winning 33-14. And Kevin, keep saying Kevin. What the hell? The Jacker man. Hi, Jacker Mike. HJM has got in this game here the Chargers. Let's see. He's got Chargers. He's got the Chargers winning 30-16.
Okay.
Next game is the Miami Dolphins taking on the Jets. By the way, to let people know, there is no Monday night game.
Nope.
That's right. There is no Monday night game in
Nope.
Week 18.
Tonight is the final Monday night game, and it's the Lions and the Niners.
Absolutely.
Now, I will keep in mind, I will say real quick before we give our picks, Steven, as I mentioned earlier, the Lions and Vikings game is off limits. So
Yep.
you either got to pick this one as your tiebreaker or you got to pick one you've already chosen.
Yep. Exactly. Got it.
So with that being said, I'm going to go in and rattle off Kevin's score right here. He's got the Dolphins outright 25-6.
Ah.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. I'm going to go 27-10.
I'm going to go with Miami. Miami 27, Jets 14. And Hijacker has in this game. Let's see here. He has Miami winning 16-6.
Okay.
Where's the game?
It's gonna
In
be
New York.
it's gonna be in New York.
Oh boy.
AKA the shadows of New York City.
Ooh. Ooh.
Sorry, Gilagreca.
Oh man.
And a Sunday night game to end.
Wait. I didn't get my
Steven's got to
score.
give his score.
Oh, Steven. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins as well. Give me the Dolphins. Give me Miami. Give me Miami 28. Excuse me, 27-17.
All right, is this your tiebreaker, Steven?
No. My tiebreaker. Oh man, I got a couple of them in my head. Give me as my tiebreaker. If it comes to this, give me my tiebreaker to be. Oh man. Let's see. I'm picking between my two picks are going to be either Tampa and the Saints or the Eagles and the Giants. You know what? Give me the Bucks and the Saints. That's my tiebreaker.
Okay, what was your score on that one again?
It was like 30. Damn it. What was the score?
Didn't you say 30-14?
I think I said 34-14. I think
Okay,
it was 30.
34-14.
Yeah, 34-14. That's my tiebreaker.
All right.
Yep.
So now, the game to decide who's going to be number one and who's going on the road.
Oh man.
And of course, that is the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings in the 3-1-3.
Oh,
And I
this
will
is gonna be unbelievable.
You
and I
know
will
what?
point out that this is Hijackers tiebreaker. So Ezra, if you can reel off that score.
Absolutely. He has got in this tiebreaker 25-17 Detroit over Minnesota.
All right. And Kevin
Yeah, Kevin.
has the Lions in a high scoring game. I'm going to guess on a game winning field goal. Kevin has the Lions beating the Vikings 39-36.
Good God Almighty!
I'm going to go with the Lions as well. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, though. I think it is going to be a very close game that's going to come down to the wire. So I'm going to go with Detroit on a game winning field goal in overtime 33-30. No. Scratch that. 27-24.
Ooh.
Okay. I've got this Detroit game. Listen to the score. 37-35. Detroit over Minnesota.
Wow.
It is going to be a high scoring affair, and it is going to be absolute burnout, and both guys are going to be setting close, if not record numbers. Both Jared Goff and freaking what's his name?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Man, this is a tough game. Tough game. Because Detroit, you know what? I'm calling it right now. A couple of these Detroit games are in my top 5 moments of the year, whether it be championships won or games being played this year. I mean, there are some incredible games that the Lions have been a part of this year. I mean, you can make the game that Jared Goff had against Seattle Monday Night Football, where he went 18 for 18 in that game. The opening Sunday night marathon in Detroit with the Rams versus the Lions kicking off the 2024 regular season. And this game, the reason why this game is so difficult is because you got the Vikings. You got a team in the Minnesota Vikings who have played hard-nosed football, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball. Their defense is ranked one of the best defenses in NFL history, this season. They have played great. They have stopped a lot of top teams, including the Packers. They obviously had the Lions number during that first half, and the Lions came out and barely survived and won that game.
Yeah.
But man, this is so tough because both of these two teams, because Detroit is going to be gearing up for this game. And the Vikings are too. Because, man, God, this is so tough. This is such a tough game to call because any one of these two teams, they can make their claim, to that division and to the number 1 seed. And if you're Detroit, you want to get that bye because you need all the rest you can get. And if all goes well for Detroit, David Montgomery's going to be back in the divisional round. But with that being said, give me the Lions to survive Minnesota. Give me the Lions to survive Minnesota in one of the highest scoring games of this season. Give me the Lions to scrape out a victory and claim number 1 seed. Give me Detroit 34-30.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of Detroit, quick score update.
Yep.
End of the first quarter, the 49ers are on top of the Lions 7-6, with San
Yep.
Francisco threatening to score again.
Oh, and but it also too, there was a bit of a scuffle in the end zone between Kirby Joseph and Jawan Jennings, where they were grabbing at each other and nearly threw each other into the back wall over by one of the end zones. And yeah, they grabbed each other and one of them threw the other to the ground and started shoving on each other. So the refs called personal fouls against both of them after the whistle. So I wanted to throw that out there. Well, that's our final picks for the year. All right.
It's
And
been a
we'll
hell
just
of a year picking these games. It's been
oh yeah.
amazing.
Yes, sir. Okay, we got about 10 to 20 minutes left in the show, guys. So what do we got left to do?
Top 5 moments of the year.
All right.
I am actually going to be honest here.
Yeah.
I have been so busy as of late. I have not even had time to even ponder sports moments of the year. So I may have to move mine to next week if that's all right.
That's okay.
I mean, if he's gonna move his next week, we might as well go ahead and just move all of ours next week. That way, because obviously we've still got college football still going on. You never know what could happen between those games. We've still got tonight's game. You never know, some miracle could happen.
Yeah.
Let's
You know
let's
what? Let's just move it the next week.
and that way it could be like a year end type of thing. We can start off
Oh yeah.
fresh. So yeah, that's what we'll do, folks. We're gonna move our top 5 sports moments of 2024 to next week. So we'll have that as a little bonus for you guys on the very first edition of our Nation Sports Show for 2025. So I'm excited for that. The other night also too, real quick before we call it a day, real quick and also too, in the world of hockey, Alexander Ovechkin came back after being out for several weeks with a broken leg.
Mm.
So Alex Ovechkin came back for the Capitals, one of the great legends of the sport, and a Capitals legend and future Hall of Famer, back out on the ice. Um, and also my Blackhawks suck, but what else is new? Um, that's pretty much all I got. Any of you guys got anything else you want to discuss before we wrap it up for today?
Just want to say real quick, thank you to everybody who has tuned into our shows throughout the entire year, either on demand or as they have happened live. We have had some incredible shows this year. I mean, one of the shows for me that stands out the most is when we did the second show that we brought some Hijacker and his boys on back in June of this year, or no, it might have been the spring. I think it was the spring when we brought them back in around the springtime to talk about the Oakland Athletics, again. And sorry, not sorry, but the truth needed to be said about Dave Cavill and his corrupt attitude. Moving the Athletics to Vegas, and then a couple of days ago, the news coming down that he's leaving Vegas. Sorry, not sorry for cursing a little bit more, about that, because that just annoyed the living crap out of me when it comes to individuals like him, because guys like him are reasons why, athletics fans for years and months, have been wanting this team to stick around, and he flat out lied and spit in front of every single fan that loved this team. Lied to their faces on Zoom calls and press conferences and stuff. I mean, just we had a lot of fun over the spring and last year torturing this clown along with John Fisher. That's one of the episodes that really stands out. But no matter what time, what time of the year it is when it comes to what season it is, I always look forward to coming on this show with you guys because we always have a great time.
Oh
We
yeah.
always cut up, have a great time, no matter if it's sports. Even there's times where we talked about music. There's times where we talked about wrestling. I mean, just every time that we pop on these microphones, we pop on these cameras, we come on this air, we have a great time, and we are looking forward to another great year of covering the world of sports from pillar to post all over the world. And we are going to try to get some more guests to come on this show, whether it be pre-recorded stuff. I'm going to try to get Lance again. I'm going to try to get Urinating Tree in an interview. Haven't talked to him in 3 years.
Yep.
Going to try to get a couple other people, that are sports writers, for teams and stuff. Try to maybe start doing that next year. Do some pre-recorded spots with team writers and stuff. From all these different teams. Just try to do that. Add some more content to the channel, all that type of stuff. But it's a lot of fun every time we get to do this, and we are so blessed. We are so grateful to be doing this every single week, and it's been a hell of a year, hell of a ride, and looking forward to next year. And from all of us here, myself, you Ezra, you Joey, Kevin, and Randy, and everybody out there, from all of us here on the Sports Show crew, Happy New Year and a happy and healthy 2025 to everybody.
Okay, real quick, I'm watching Raw. Some big news. John Cena will be on Monday Night Raw on Netflix next week.
Nice.
Yeah,
and I'm calling it right now. He's kicking off Raw.
They say the C Nation farewell tour begins next week. So, also too, want to point this out. I forgot, I overglossed this, and that's my fault. That tomorrow for the NHL is the Winter Classic, taking place at Wrigley Field in Sweet Home, Chicago, with the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the St. Louis Blues. Ooh, wanted to point that out real quick. But yeah, it's been one hell of a ride, guys, and we're going to continue this ride on going next year. So, and of course, my plan is still in place that next year, somehow or another, Our Nation Sports Show will be live with all four of us. The main four, not including Hijacker and Randy, of course, because obviously they're on different parts of the world. Maybe we could get Randy. We don't know. Hijacker, of course, is on the
Randy.
West.
Randy would be our best bet because Randy does live in our same. Does live in the majority of us in our same state.
Our five that are mainly in that area, plus me flying out, we could do Our Nation Sports Show live and in person.
Man, that would be fun, dear, and especially
each other's faces in real life. So
yes.
But let's get to the final thoughts, everybody, and let's wrap this show up. Joey.
Once again, another great show with you guys. Can't believe we just made our pick segment for the last week of the regular season. And as we have said before on the show, next week we will crown our third annual pick segment champion. After Kevin won it the first year and then Steven won it last year. So will we see another first-time winner, or are we going to see our first two-time winner?
We shall see. It's going to be one for the books, fellas.
Yep, that will come next week. But in the meantime, enjoy the sports, enjoy the football, and especially enjoy time with friends and family over the next couple nights. And I also want to wish everyone here on the show and everyone who has been watching and everyone who will watch on demand a very, very happy new year. And may 2025 be your best year yet. And with that being said, my laptop is about to go dead on me, so I'm going to go ahead and get off for the night. So, peace out, gents. Happy New Year.
Yep.
And I will see y'all next year.
Yep.
All right, Joey. Take it easy, brother.
Later, guys.
Great job, man.
Later, buddy. All right, Steven, you know the drill. Close it out, my friend.
Yep, phenomenal year, phenomenal show for a second consecutive week. Doing this show on a Monday night because nobody wants to do a show on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, rightly so. So we figure what better way to wrap up the year in 2024 to do our final two shows during the middle of Monday Night Football, in the middle of Monday Night Raw. And again, looking forward to not just a brand new year next year, but the fact that in the world of professional wrestling, a brand new era in the WWE begins, as Monday Night Raw will be exclusively on Netflix, starting January the 6th. And also looking forward to this week as we will be having Wrestle Dynasty happening as well, and Wrestle Kingdom happening this weekend. So if you are a wrestling junkie, you will consume all things professional wrestling. And obviously, if you're a sports geek like the majority of us are here, we will be catching out on a lot of football happening this week. And it is absolutely crazy how we have just made our final regular season picks for the prediction battles for 2024. And we are looking forward to another great year next year. Again, like I said, for myself, for Ezra, Joey, Kevin, Randy, William Gyron, everybody out there, Happy New Year from all of us. Thank you to tuning in, all year long. Shout outs to Lance Meadows. Shout outs to everybody out there, that, we support, as far as the sports side of things. And also, want to give a shout out to the Nation's Corner. Great year for those guys and gal, talking all things professional wrestling. And catch our channels wherever you may find social media. You can follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/The Nation Sports Show, and where we are live on most Tuesdays, and we will be back live at our normal scheduled start time of 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific on January the 7th, next Tuesday, as we return on our regular scheduled day for our Nation Sports Show as we begin the year of 2025. Looking forward to another outstanding year covering everything in the world of sports. Looking forward to the NFL playoffs beginning before you know it, starting not this weekend, but the next weekend as Super Wildcard Weekend will begin. And may the chaos begin, baby, because the road to Super Bowl 59 is just about to begin. And with that being said, Ezra, wrap this up for the final time for the year of 2024, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. We appreciate it. As always, you can like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff with all your friends and family. Don't forget to also check out our individual social medias, which are listed in the description of this video. Don't forget also to check out, like I said, Nation's Corner, Too Sweet Cosplay, any other places we support. We thank you guys for doing so, and we appreciate you guys joining us for this big year 2024, and we know 2025 is going to be an even bigger year. So, for the final time in 2024, for Kevin Rory, for Joey Thornton, for Randy Gyron, for Hijacker Mike, for Big Stevie Wyand, and for everybody out there in the sports nation, I am Ezra Vickery. And we will see you all next time for another great edition of our Nation Sports Show next Tuesday. Same time, same YouTube channel. Take it easy. Have a happy new year. Be safe. Drink responsibly. Get a ride in Uber, whatever you can. And we will see you all in 2025. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.